Let's start with the news. And the National School Feeding Program is seeking some 300 million Ghana cedis for its operations in 2014. National Coordinator for the program, Seydou Adamu, says the program will meanwhile continue with a retargeting of some basic urban schools, which started in 2011 to ease the strain on funding.
In 2005, when the school feeding program was introduced to basic schools in the country, parents and guardians from impoverished communities heaved a sigh of relief, believing that it could save them the money they would have otherwise had to scrape from their wards feeding in school. The program has, however, been plagued with funding challenges after just a few years, with caterers currently owed huge sums of money for meals already served with school children. Most of the about 5,000 caterers have as a result reduced the quality and quantity of their meals. What did you eat today?
We eat watching and pepper. No fish, no meat.
No fish, no meat. Did you bring it from the house or it was served to you in school?
It was served with us in school.
It was served in school. So usually what are some of the food that they bring to you?
They always bring us wache, banku, and rice, and no chicken. No, we don't have any chicken. We don't have any meat or fish to eat with.
It is, however, hoped the retargeting of the schools to disqualify those in the more endowed areas and include more underprivileged schools should be one sure way to address the challenge.
We realize that they missed. They had a very good criteria for the selection of the schools, but it was missed in a way, So it created it caused the displeasure of some of our sponsors. Yes, they were in the urban areas, affluent society, instead of going to the poor communities. So that forced us to do the retargeting in 2011 to send the school to the needy communities, and that's why we have been doing it up to date, and we continue to deepen to touch. To reach the poor.
Come Tuesday, November 19, would have the 2014 budget reading. What are your expectations as far as funding the school feeding program is concerned?
Well, they may go to around 200 or 300 million Ghana cedis for us.
Richard Asante is a beneficiary of the school feeding program, which started in 2005, a program that came as a great relief to students and guardians who could not afford to give their children these daily meals to school. Even though they get the food, the balanced diet has become a problem. It is all about carbohydrates, no meat, no protein. So it's as if even though the school feeding program is a relief, it is also causing some problems because it is not a balanced meal. Very soon the 2014 budget is going to be released, and we are hoping that government is going to put a lot of consideration into this school feeding program, because really it's not just about the feeding the children, but it's taking out well-endowed school, but making sure that even schools that are not well-endowed are not just fed any meal, but are fed a healthy, balanced diet. Matilda Nyakwa Dennis for Joy News.
It is now possible to board a plane and have an in-flight dining experience, and without having to cough up the thousands of Ghana cedis it usually costs to buy a plane ticket. How? Courtesy a public-private partnership arrangement, a DC10 aircraft owned by the defunct Ghana Airways has been converted into a grounded restaurant, which appears to have created quite a buzz around an airline that was otherwise dead. Marian Toure has been on board for the restaurant. Tan Marie Royal in-flight experience.
I am sure we've all seen the decommissioned DC10, which has been parked here at the airport for some time now. And we're all wondering, well, what is happening to it? What is it being used for? What is the purpose and everything like that? We're going in to speak to the manager and find out what is happening here. Come on, let's go in.
I've got a date with a lady, but I've got no penny in my pocket.
The interior of the plane has been significantly transformed and the cockpit area converted into a bar, reception and waiting area. The entire aisle seating in the plane has also been replaced with regular dining tables and chairs. The window seats have been maintained so you can see outside the plane from your dining table, except there will be no air view at any point in time. There's also no first, business or economy class, though you can reserve your seating. Matthias Doffe, Director, Vendira Limited, operators of restaurant L'Attente Royale, explains the concept.
This idea was conceived as a tourist facility. When Ghana Airport Company, they were the brain behind this concept. They said this is a plane that was carrying tourists into Ghana. Today that it can no longer do that, what can it do for tourism? And they said, come on, let's try to turn it into a restaurant. And when they decided that, they realized that they themselves are not in the business of running a restaurant. So they decided to invite private participation. And that's how we came in. Because we were already operating a restaurant at the airport. We have already been their customers. And when we put in the bid, fortunately for us, our bid also happened to be the one they found most attractive. So the idea was that let's provide this as a tourist facility. And if we want to do that, we should be showing Ghanaian cuisine to our visitors.
The project, which started as far back as 2008, is a wholly Ghanaian public-private partnership venture. For waitresses such as Irene, waiting on diners here, short of being a flight attendant, is a unique experience.
I'm very proud to work here because this something is the first time in Ghana and let me say Africa, because you won't see it anywhere. So I'm very proud to work here.
Some customers on board the restaurant L'Attente Royale also shared their flight experience.
This is my first experience, and so far it's so good. The lunch is sumptuous, the aroma is good, and I think that is a very creative and very trendy place that has been discovered. And if you ask me to recommend, I'll recommend this place as the best place to have a cool, relaxed lunch anytime, any day, and then you go back to your workplace stress-free.
So, wondering why you should choose restaurant L'Attente Royale over the others?
Two things which are unique. The first one is the ambience, because the ambience we offer, you don't find it anywhere, where you have authentic Ghanaian food. In fact, because of that, even the chicken, we don't do imported chicken. Everything we do here, even chicken and anything, it's Ghanaian. It's grown in Ghana here. Do you get what I mean? So it is a typical Ghanaian facility which integrates well into our Ghanaian agricultural system. That's basically what it is.
So if you're looking to go skiing in Switzerland, or perhaps you want to have something nice to eat in Cairo, or you're looking to really have a great time in Freetown, or if you are like me, you would like to go to Rome and have a fun time on the barges, then this is the place for you. For Joy News, Marion Toure reporting from the L'Attente on the DC10 here at the airport in Accra.
And I love this report. What do you make of it?
You should take me there today. Lunch on Euro.
I'll take you to lunch. And especially I love the way they've, designed and painted the whole place.
I love it. I love it.
You know, the artistic coloration of club beer and everything. And club beer is the best beer around Ghana. So that you get to have, it's fun.
Free advert for them.
I would love to go there.
Take me today. Lunch.
I'd love to go there, yeah.
Take me today. Say yes.
Today?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You see, I'm not saying it with confidence. It means that it may not be possible. Well, we have to go on with the news and plans to relocate commercial activities from Agbogloshi and some other congested market in the central business district of Accra to Ajenkotoku in the Gan West district are expected to be through by February 2014. Deputy Minister of Works and Housing Vincent Opong Asamoah noted traders would move to the site after the festive season so as not to disrupt business. Well, it's taking quite a time, though, for the relocation program, as work at the new site was completed over 2 years ago.
Government acquired about 800 acres of land at Ajin Kotoku for a new housing project as well as a commercial and industrial estate. But the redevelopment of the community for the markets was completed in November 2011 and has been lying fallow for the past 2 years. The Deputy Minister gives the scope of the project.
Those who come in huge trucks of yam and then tomatoes and other foodstuffs to break bulk, that's what we want to relocate at Ajin Kotoku, and not the people per se. So while the business activity is over there, I'm sure a lot of people will flock to that place. Right now we are ready, but the issue is that I don't want to disturb their business activities around this time. So we'll get there after the Utah, then we'll move them. So latest by February, they should be there.
It comes with facilities such as a 14-unit classroom block, a clinic, a community center, stormwater drainage system, a police station, fire station, and a market with 95 stalls and a little space for sheds. He explains that after the traders are moved in, some expansion work would later be done to accommodate their numbers.
The only thing is we have to create additional sheds, because I know activities over there, the sheds we have there will not be able to take care of the numbers that will be moving to that place. That's the only thing I think we have to work on.
So any future expansion?
Yeah, that's why we are worried about this encroachment on the lands. But at least we have to make maximum use of the available space over there. We need to create additional sheds.
He added it has come to his notice that there is some encroachment at the site and promised to deal with it.
People have quickly moved to that area and they are buying every portion of that land to defeat the purpose for which all these facilities were provided. And we are going to ensure that if you don't have permit and even you have acquired it from the chiefs and you don't have permit, it's illegal structure. And we'll ensure that we'll not go to court. We'll ensure that we demolish all those structures because we'll not allow the investment to go to waste.
The hospital, police station, and the fire station are expected to be fully finished and ready for handing over by January 2014.
An interministerial task force has been set by the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing to ensure that all government bungalows are transferred onto the prepaid electricity material system. The move follows a directive by the President to have all government bungalows and offices hooked onto the cut down on wastage and the state indebtedness on the utility companies.
The task force have until November ending to change all postpaid meters to prepaid ones in the over 1,000 government bungalows dotted around the capital and eventually in all regional, municipal and district capitals across the country.
We've given ourselves 30th November to get, by 30th of November, we want to see that at least prepaid meters on government structures or bungalows, with respect to the ministerial bungalows and that of the public servants, are fixed. But you cannot just go today to somebody's house and you carry a meter hand and just start fixing. No, that is not appropriate enough. We first need to serve them notification or correspondence that your place is earmarked for a prepaid meter.
The task force, as a first step, has started distributing letters of intent to the occupants of the various government bungalows and are expected to move in beginning Monday, November 18, to officially start the exercise.
They've worked with the decision, and some of the ministers, of course, yesterday was a working day, so they made their absence, but they have made their security guards and all that, and they delivered the letters to them. One or two ministers that they met, they also, some even were, in fact, they were so much excited to hear that at least they have come to them, talked to them first of all, and presented the letters and all that. So in all, I think that is a welcome decision, a welcome news to many of them.
The interministerial task force comprises representatives from the Electricity Company of Ghana, the Energy Ministry, the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing, and the Public Works Department.
If you've been eager to see a completion of the Polo Grounds Pentas Road bypass behind the Accra Mall, you may probably have to wait a while longer. As tried as we could, we've been unable to get an answer as to when it will be completed. Well, the road was originally supposed to have been completed early 2011, 10 months after the late President Mills cut sod for work to begin in March 2010. Though resident engineer on the project is unable to state exactly when the road would be completed, he says it is almost 80% done. Adelaide Arthur has more.
Late President Mills cut sod for work to begin on the bypass as a way of addressing the heavy vehicular congestion encountered by residents living off the Spintex Road and beyond, especially during rush hour. The resident engineer who took me for the site inspection, however, says a lot has changed with the modification of the original design.
The road starts from Sakumono all the way to the Elwak intersection with the airport bypass. So currently what we've done is we've done asphalt overlay. First of all, we have to strengthen the main Spintex Road. We have to construct some drains at certain places. For example, if you get to Kotobabi Junction, it used to be a single lane. We have to expand the road, dualize it up to a point, introduce some traffic signals. Then we have to start from Polo End, dualize it all the way to Action and beyond up to Flowerport Junction. We are going to pave the whole median. We are not going to grass it because we noticed that green grass, people will just be walking on it. So we started paving the median and we are creating walkways along the road.
But the project is still behind schedule, even going by the timeline for the new design. Kweku Chega explains why, but could not say when it will be completed.
We've done about 80%. Now we are out from the danger place. You can see water still coming from the ground. So you go further, you see it. There's still water coming. So we need to excavate all this thing again. First of all, we did boulders. We realized that the water is still coming. So we are going to treat it and then put in French drains. These are underground drains that you don't see. That the water table rises up to a point and then collects the water onto the underground storm drain that we've created. This is a new railway bridge that we've constructed. What you see over there is a railway bridge. It wasn't there, but currently the train is still working.
The road, however, promises to significantly ease the daily grind of those who ply the route upon completion, and the contractor Usuya Ghana Limited can be seen on site working on the dual carriageway. One of the highlights of the new design is the isolation of the traffic that tends to build around the Accra Mall. The Polo Spintex bypass extends to the motorway where this reservoir, which used to be the main reservoir for the Accra Mall, has been demolished to make way for the construction. Contractors have also constructed this exit from the motorway right at the beginning of the motorway so that when you're coming from Achimota or Legon and you are heading towards Spintex, you don't necessarily have to go through the runabout at the mall. You just head towards the motorway. At the beginning, you exit through Casa Trazako to the Spintex runabout, and then you are on your way. Meanwhile, motorists have already started using the road, even though it is yet to be completed, though they are being advised to drive within the recommended city speed limit of 50 kilometers per hour. From the asphalt and paved medians to side drains, runabout and solar-powered street lights, we surely will be expecting a beautifully constructed bypass that meets the safety needs of motorists.
Consumer inflation for October 2013 has hit a high of 13.1%, up from the previous month's rate of 11.9%. The October rate is the highest in 3 years. The monthly inflation increased by 2.3% from the negative 0.7% recorded in September 2013. The main driver of the inflation was the recent increase in the tariffs, which culminated in the house and water, electricity and gas group shooting up the roof of the inflation rate of 33.4%. Transportation recorded an inflation of rate of 26.3%. The food and non-alcoholic beverages group recorded a decline in inflation as has been predicted. It dropped by 2% points from last month's 8.9% to 0.9% in October. The main driver of the food inflation was the fish and seafood group, which recorded 9.1% inflation. Government statistician Dr. Philomena Nyako stated that the possibility contributing factors are the removal of the subsidies of premixed fuel and a decline in volumes of harvest. She adds that following the drop in electricity tariffs, it is expected that inflation will drop.
Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana says that the old 50 Ghana cedi banknotes are no longer legal tender and so cannot be exchanged for goods and services rendered or in any transaction. According to the bank, the old 50 Ghana cedi notes ceased to be legal tender after September 30, 2012 and should not be issued to members of the public. However, a senior official at the Currency Department of the Bank of Ghana told news reporters in Accra on Wednesday that the old 50 Ghana cedi notes would continue to be exchanged at all banks and the banking hall of the Bank of Ghana. The central bank therefore directed all banks in the country to accept the old 50 Ghana cedi banknotes for exchange or deposit from the public after some authentication. News is concerned, we bring you a rundown of our top stories for the morning. The school feeding program requests 300 million Ghana cedis for its operations in 2014.
And fancy driving in an aeroplane at a fraction of what it would be usually cost you to fly. Tell you how.
Well, you have to visit the restaurant that is in a DC10 plane.
DC10.
At the airport.
Yeah, and the inflation rises to 13.1% over utility tariff increase.
Well, that'll be it for the news. Up next, we have sports. Officials of Ghana's Football Administration, that is the Ghana Football Association as well as the Ministry of Sports, met officials of FIFA at Lomé in Togo over concerns following security raised for that very playoff between the Black Stars of Ghana and the Pharaohs of Egypt. Well, we had a chat with Ghana's Football Association President Kofi Nyantichi.
These concerns were discussed thoroughly by both parties, and FIFA appeared to have a sympathetic ear towards the issues that were raised. And so, further to the first inspection visit that was made by a team of national security officials and officials from the Federation, a second visit has been agreed upon to be made on Thursday, this week Thursday. And that visit will have the presence of the head of security of FIFA. I will be there myself. Abidi Pele will be there subject to confirmation. Then Alaji Latte from the National Security. And then Ibrahim Sani, our Communications Director, will also be there. The purpose of the visit is to receive detailed provisions for security as outlined in the guarantees that the Egyptian government provided. And so their state security officials are supposed to inform or take us through a detailed security briefing outlining measures that will guarantee the security of all officials and players during the game. It will also be an opportunity for us to assess and ask questions.
For Sports Minister Elvis Afriyie-Ankrah, Ghana will make sure that the right security measures are implemented before the match.
I think it went very well. We had frank, open and candid discussions. We raised the issues that were of concern to us, that even though FIFA had written to confirm Cairo as a capital and they had assured us that Egypt has given them security guarantees, we felt that we needed more and better particulars. And after the discussions, FIFA has agreed that they will organize a meeting between us and the Egyptian security officials together with the FA so that we look at some of the concerns matters that have been raised. So I think on that note, we've made some progress. Let me assure Ghanaians that we are not afraid or worried about the football match itself. Let me assure Ghanaians, as I said, there is no man, woman, or devil that can stop us from going to Brazil. We are going to Brazil, and no man born of a woman can stop us. But at the same time, we have to take precautions. We are going into a very volatile territory, and so we are asking relevant questions. In if scenario A, what if this? What are the guarantees? What if this? What are the measures? What if that? What have you put in place? We just want to ensure that the way we've gone through all these qualifiers without any incident will go for this final one, which happens to be the last qualifier for the whole.
And the last audio we bring to you is the assurances from the General Secretary of FIFA, Jerome Valcke, over measures that have been implemented for the match.
I think it went well. Firstly, it was very important not to exchange only letters and to discuss via telephone, but to meet. And it was an opportunity, because I'm here today in Togo, in Lomé, to meet the President and the Minister, and again to describe all the security measures which will be in place for the game between Egypt and Ghana, measures which were provided and organized by the Egyptian authorities. They can be assured that we are doing all together the maximum for them to attend this game and for Ghana to play in the best condition, as, by the way, for Egypt. I mean, there are two teams on the pitch and they have to play together. What we have decided, in order to bring even more feeling of good insurance for Ghana, is that we will organize in the next 48 hours.
And that's it for sports. Sports is brought to you by Tigo. Smile, you've got Tigo.